into the agenda. All right, bow with me. Holy God and Father of all mankind, Father of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we thank you for this day and all of the blessings that you have placed within it for us to find. God, thank you for the work that you are doing in our community, and thank you that we get to be a part of it. God, we thank you that you have a plan in our neighborhood for every man, woman, and child, and that we are a part of that plan to bring forth redemption and to bring forth restoration to our community. God, be with us as we work diligently now in the year 2022 to accomplish the goals that you have set out for us. And God, help us in all things to always do what is in the best interest of peace and to love our neighbors well, things that Jesus proclaimed far above any act of judgment, any act of religion or whatever that be, God. Jesus told us above everything to love one another, to love you, to love our neighbor, and to just love everybody. So God, help us to do that well this year as we move forward. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Program hours for elementary have not changed. They're going to be the same. So Monday through Friday from 3 o'clock until 5:30. We were the most shorthanded we have ever been this past semester. Hopefully we've got some more help coming this semester. That being said, our van route is still full. So if you could help us in any way, the biggest thing you could do is just come and pick up your children. We have one van available, we only have one driver available. That driver switches out depending on what day of the week it is, so we're still very stretched. Middle school and high school, we have a little bit more leniency with that, but if those numbers increase, we may have to cut that back some as well. Enrollment forms and waivers, check with us and see if your enrollment and waiver form are up to date. I know Brittany said that all of her elementary forms are up to date and good. So only middle and high school students need to check on that. Once you fill out the waiver, it is good for 1 calendar year. So most of the time our kids start the program either in August or May. So if you filled out a form in August or May of this past year, you're still good for the rest of this school year. Let's see, parent engagement activities. We have planned, once the weather starts getting nicer in March, we will do another cookout. This time it will not be drive-through like the last one had to be because of COVID. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys at the Marble City Community Garden. We'll have brats and we'll have burgers and we'll have all that good stuff again. We are also wanting to do a bonfire, so like hot dogs and marshmallows, that kind of stuff, at the outdoor classroom, which will be opening in late March. Let's see. We also have a person here at the church that is wanting to start a Sunday evening small group Bible study at the outdoor classroom once the cold weather breaks. So if you're not doing anything on a Sunday evening, I think the plan for now is to get started around 5:15, 5:30. Come join us for some Bible study right there in the middle of the neighborhood. I know a lot of people are a lot less intimidated by like neutral ground than they would be coming to the church building and everything. Just to remind you, Laurel services are Sunday morning at 10 o'clock for Sunday school, and then at 11:15 for Sunday worship. We also have some new Wednesday night activities that are starting that I think you guys would benefit from. The first one is we are working with a local nonprofit called the Knoxville Dream Center. They are a food rescue ministry, or at least that's part of the many ministries that they do. And on Wednesday nights at 5 o'clock, they are going to bring a food truck here to the parking lot. And they will have fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, free of charge. They'll have some canned stuff and that kind of stuff, but it's meant to be used by the Just Lead families to to subsidize your weekly grocery bill. I know I'll be using it because my boys eat like they have hollow legs. That being said, that's there. Even if you're not interested in getting groceries from the truck, if you're interested in volunteering at the truck, you can sign up to become a volunteer. You do that with Jonathan Thomas, our connections minister here in Laurel. Many of you remember pre-COVID, we had a communal parenting class where it was not so much a class, but a discussion group where parents came and bounced ideas off of each other. Because let's face it, we're all trying to be better parents, and honestly, at the time, it was a sneaky way for me to kind of like glean parenting advice from you all because I was a new parent at that time, and I needed all the help I could get. JT is starting that class back up this month. So I don't know if he's still planning on doing like the drawings and all the other fun stuff that we did as a part of that. But that should be starting, I think he said, by the end of January. There are other Bible classes that will be available. There will be an Old Testament class. I'm not sure what book they're studying. And I think there's a New Testament class starting. I know they just got done with Romans, but I'm not sure what they're launching into from there. Let's see. Sports. They are starting for the first time this year a boys volleyball team. Talk to Chelsea if you need more information on that. I know they dropped off some flyers right at the tail end of last semester. And of course, girls volleyball is also running right now. We've had some changes to our behavior policy. If I can get one of those. Every one of you should have gotten one of these new behavioral contracts. We were looking at this and realized we haven't really updated it in the last like 6.5 years. And it was time for an update. So if you'll look on here, there's a place for parents to commit and sign. There's a place for students to commit and sign. And it just kind of outlines for everybody what our expectations are, what our disciplinary policies are, and then our rules are also posted.
You can get them in the parent area.
Yeah, they're in the parent area. The kids go over them every day. There are 13 rules, and the kids should know them pretty well by heart. I think it's kind of funny. Even middle school, I'll say something like, "Now, what's rule number 7?" And like they'll put it back, or I'll say something like, "Jamarion, what rule are you breaking right now?" And they'll say, but either which way, it's there are rules, and if they break them, it's not that big of a deal. But there are some big ones that we've been having a lot of trouble with. One of them is kids leaving the classroom without permission, because that is a matter of safety. If we don't know where the kid is and we don't know what they're doing, it just causes all kinds of stuff. So that can lead to a suspension. Other vehicles like offensive or demeaning languages, like cussing, that kind of stuff. And then seeking to cause physical harm to another person on purpose, like those are the kinds of things that we're really trying to tamp down. And then this is more relevant to our middle and high school students, but we're really trying to cut back on the amount of time that they are using their cell phones and devices. It has been our rule for the longest time that they're not allowed to have cell phones, electronics, or toys in program. These things can get broken, they can get stolen, they can get misplaced, not to mention, like, we have two very awesome, capable coordinators, and I feel like, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, we often feel like we are in competition with Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook, and we shouldn't have to be, because these things shouldn't even be out.
I took care of something on Gracie's phone. It's called Google Family Link.
I have it on Brandon's as well.
I can lock Gracie's. It tells me where she's at, how many hours she's been on, what apps she's been on. I can block the apps. You can do whatever you want to do on it.
So yeah,
That's
if
nice.
you guys want to download that app on your kid's phone and shut it off during the
What's it
times
called?
they're here, it'd be awesome.
What's
Family
it?
Link.
Family Link?
By Google.
Google Family Link.
One of the other things is we have had some issues this past semester with certain kids not wanting to participate in the activities that are going on. We need their full participation while they're here. Because what happens is if one person sits out and says, hey, I don't want to play this game, and another person sits out and they don't want to play this game, we don't have enough people to play the game. My whole thing is just do what you're asked to do. If you don't like the game today, you will probably like it the next day. It just means it wasn't your turn today, and that's okay. Alarmingly, I've had to have the same kind of conversation with some church folk. If we didn't sing the song you liked today, that's okay. It was someone else's turn. So if we don't play the game you like today, that's okay. It's someone else's turn. You will have your turn later. The other thing we need to talk about is excessive absences from programs. We have a tremendously long waiting list right now. There are a lot of families and a lot of kids who really want to be in this program, and we want to make sure that we are providing opportunities for them when we can. And if we have kids who are not coming, if we have kids who are only showing up a day or two a week, we need to reassess whether or not it makes sense for us to have that spot filled with someone who's not here so often as it does for somebody who wants to be here every day. That's just part of the environment we're dealing with right now. I know COVID has strained the after-school and summer care and daycare system in Knox County to a breaking point, and we're all just trying to make sure we're helping as many people as we can. Let's see. I think that's it. Is there anything else on there that I need to cover, Chelsea?
Maybe just vehicle behavior expectations.
Yes. Okay. So, as some of you have found out over the course of the break, Tennessee Highway Patrol and Knoxville Police Department and Knox County Sheriffs have increased the number of officers they have, monitoring our streets and roads. With that, if we get pulled over and a kid is not properly restrained via seat belt, car seat, whatever, it's a huge ticket potentially for one of my drivers. And we have some kids who will leave the school buckled and secured because we have to check every child and make sure they are buckled and secured before we leave. And by the time we get back to the church, they are no longer buckled and secured. Not only does that put my drivers at risk of being, ticketed and things like that, it is an unreasonable increase in danger for the kids. We ask that all of our parents cooperate with us in stressing the importance of your kids remaining seated and buckled and in their booster seats if that is required, so that we don't have to suspend kids for bouncing around the inside of our vans and buses. It's dangerous and it's distracting for our drivers. Okay. Is that it? All right. Read this. Let me know if you have any questions, and then if you do, you can email me or you can text me. I think everybody's fairly well got my number. I think that may be it for me. Oh, yeah, that's it. All right. So next, Brittany will come up and she will talk about the elementary calendar and the schedules and all the really fun things you guys need to know about. And then Chelsea will do the same. We will adjourn the meeting. And if you have any questions at the end, I'll hang around for a few extra minutes.
And what we'll do too is when I'm done, if you just have elementary kids and you don't have a middle or high schooler, you can exit with me and we can go, take care of fees or whatever, and you guys can go on home. And then, but if you do have a middle or high schooler, you probably want to stay for, listen to what Chelsea's going to say. And then, if you got kids that are moving up to middle school soon, you might want to hang around just to hear kind of what they do. Okay, so if you don't know me, I'm Brittany. I am the elementary coordinator. This is running up on my 3rd year of doing that, and I love what I do. We have a really, really great program. We have an intern, and that is the beautiful Sheila Jones over here. Sheila's been with us for a long time, and she has kids in the middle and high school program, and so she kind of does a little bit of everything. And specifically this semester, she's going to be taking over our homework area. She will probably start doing some Bible lessons as well. And then this semester, we have a full elementary staff, and so she will be able to do something to where she switches with me, as in I go in the classroom, and then she does my role to prepare her for moving on up in her work area. So, anyways, we have 2 AmeriCorps this semester. We have Pero, I think it's Britta, and then Madeline Williams. So Pero is going to be our Learning Lab AmeriCorps. So he does the learning area for the elementary kids, and then Madeline is going to take over a Mod Podge. She's going to be doing the social, emotional, the health, and whatnot. So those are our people that are going to be with us this semester. And Pero and Madeline are both college students. I want to give you a little bit about our schedule. Now, I do pass out a monthly calendar every month, and so you will see this, and I do my very best. It is a New Year's resolution of mine to do a better job of making sure this is always posted on the Facebook group and always sent to your phone so you can have a digital copy. That's a New Year's resolution of mine. But every day we have snack, we have a Bible lesson or a Devo, we have fitness, playtime, learning lab, and homework time. Then once a week we have a social emotional lesson, a health lesson, and a reading class, which is led by one of our volunteers. She is a church member, and she comes, and she's a sweet little old lady, and she reads to our kids. And then we're starting something new this semester. It's really exciting. Our preacher was really inspired by the kids that joined our Christmas choir that we did back in December, and he's wanting to start a choir class. So the elementary is going to have a choir class. And we might move forward with that maybe to where we can probably maybe get the kids involved with the worship team on Sunday mornings. We hope that's kind of where we're going with this. And so it'll be, this is going to be a really awesome thing for us. By the way, if you are watching the video, you are going to need to do something to show me that you did watch it. And so I'm going to give you a sentence. And so this is the first word of the sentence, hour. O-U-R, hour. So that's the first word. And then you're going to watch the rest of it to get the rest of the sentence. Okay. I also want to mention, as Matt did, on Sunday mornings, we would love to see all of you at our Sunday morning services. We have an early service at 8:45, and then Just Lead usually shows up at the 10 o'clock Bible class, and then we go to the 11 o'clock service. And so we would love to see everybody there. Matt talked about Wednesday nights with the food truck coming and then the parent class coming. I want to emphasize what's going to happen with the elementary group for Wednesday night. So we have our midweek discipleship from 5:30 to 6. So we are going to continue to close at 6. However, the church is bringing back their kids' classes, and this has been closed since COVID, so this is a really big thing to rejoice over. But at 6:45, they're going to have kid classes offered. And I think the name for it is Team Kid, but they have a really awesome curriculum they're going to be doing with the kids. So if you want, you can come pick up your child at 6 o'clock, and you can either go get dinner and come back, or you can hang out in the parking lot or whatever you want to do. And at 6:45, you can come to Bible class. And then parents can go to parenting class. Okay, I mentioned what we do once a week. And then I want to mention Fridays. Fridays are fun days. Fridays we do like a celebration. Like this Friday is going to be our New Year's Eve, our New Year's party. And then we do theme days, and then we do field trips. So we do field trips once a month. They're always on the calendar. I do want to remind you that on field trip days, sometimes we do get back later. But what I try to do is I try to communicate with you as best as I can to let you know what time we're going to be back, if we're going to be back later. And so just work with me there and bear with me because those days are really, really, really busy. Okay, if you're watching the video, the next word in the sentence is favorite. Okay, if you don't know the first word, that's the second word. Go back and rewind to watch the first part of it. But the second word is favorite. Okay. I'm sorry, it's kind of probably weird for y'all, but okay. Matt mentioned we really have high expectations on attendance. For elementary, I do say my expectations are that they attend at least 3 times a week and at least until 5 o'clock. So just know that I check my attendance, and then the ones who I've noticed have not been coming a lot, I try to just communicate with those families and see what's going on if there's a problem or something. But just know that that's our expectation for elementary. Remember that I do text a lot. I do take phone calls. That's how I communicate. I do post a lot on the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, I post boo-koodles of pictures. I mean, there's probably thousands of pictures on there that I've taken. It's probably a little annoying by now. But anyways, if you're not in the Facebook group, please let me know and I will put you in there so you can see pictures of your lovely kiddos. All right. Now, I want to let you know something about texting and calling me during program. So this semester, I'm going to be a whole lot more free, so I can take a phone call or answer a text message back quickly. However, this has happened frequently in our past. If I had just picked the kids up from school and I'm driving here, a lot of times somebody will call me and they'll think I'm ignoring them, and it might be an emergency, but it is within the best interest of the kids that I do not pick up my phone while I'm driving. Also, I can lose my license, right? So, anyways, we don't want that to happen. So, if you call me or you text me and I don't answer you right back, just know it's probably because I'm driving, and then I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Okay, for the people watching. All right, the third word in the sentence is filled. F-I-E-L-D. Filled. So, there you go. So, if you don't know the first 2 words in the sentence, rewind and watch it, and then that's the third word, filled. Okay, next thing. I want to re-emphasize behavioral plan for elementary. Okay, so we have a contract just like middle and high school, but ours is just a tad bit different. So really read these and really pay attention to like what we said in here, because this is really important to us. Now, the 3 things that can get you an immediate suspension in elementary are these things: physical violence, cursing, and then running out of the classroom or running away from the adults, because those are 3 really big things in elementary that we do not want to happen. So if one of those 3 things happen, it's a suspension. Remember that you get 3 suspensions, and then on the 4th one, you're dismissed for the rest of the semester, and we don't want that to happen either. So all we ask for the kids is just to come here every day, enjoy themselves, and follow the rules. That's all that we ask of them. And if that happens, then we're all doing good. And what we try to do, we try to use positive reinforcement. So for elementary, we have a ticket system. We give them tickets for good behavior. We do take tickets as a negative reinforcement, but that's just part of what we have to do. But the tickets are a big deal with the kids, and then at the end of the week, we tally up their tickets, and they get to spend it at the ticket store, and they get to buy junk. So, but they love it. They love buying junk, and they know that they bought it because they worked hard. They earned it, and so we really focus on that as much as we can. So really look into the contract, because this is something kind of new for the elementary part. So really pay attention to that and give me any questions that you may have. All right, folks watching the video, the 4th word in the sentence is trip, T-R-I-P. So there's 4 words so far. The 4th word is trip. All right, now the last thing that I really want to focus on is swimming. Okay, this is a big one. Everybody take a deep breath here. Okay, so swimming is something that we really focus on in our elementary, and I think For middle and high, it's kind of sporadic the way they do it. But for elementary, we go for 2 weeks, and we go Tuesday through Friday of those 2 weeks. Now, we do have an expectation that if your child comes to Just Lead on a swimming day, that they swim. The only exception that we give is if they have a medical issue. And that's perfectly fine. We work with you guys. We try to understand if there is a problem. But we provide the swimsuits, we provide the towels, and if needed, there are swim caps for kiddos who have sensitive hair. So, this is a really awesome thing. We do it over at the E.V. Davidson Recreational Center. We have a swim instructor. Her name is Rebecca Fadley. And then we have a lady that is the director of the entire aquatics program, and her name is Miss T. Pridgens, I think that's how you say her name. And these swimming lessons are a big deal because we want our kids to be prepared for water activities and for them to know how to be safe in the water. So it's a big deal. Now we do our best on those days to get back by 5:30, but sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're a little late. Now the main rule of thumb here is if you come to pick your child up on a swimming day and the 2 buses are not there, because we normally take the bus. If both buses are not out there, because we have 2, then that usually means we're not back yet. And we normally take the big bus. So if you know what the buses look like and you haven't seen the big bus pull up, we're probably not there yet. Okay? Now, the dates are, and if you want to mark your calendars, this is a great time to do it. We are swimming on March 29th through April 1st, and then April 5th through the 8th. I'm going to say it. We're swimming March 29th through April 1st, and then April 5th through the 8th. And I will be communicating a lot about that as we get close to it, but I really want to mention that because I haven't at the last parent meetings, and then it's become a little bit of a confusion for some people. And so I want to make sure everybody understands swimming. And then for the people that are watching the video, the next word in the sentence is, I-S. So there's 5 words. The 5th word is. Okay? All right? And then, one more thing, and then we'll be done with the elementary part. Okay, springtime means warm weather because we're coming upon summer. And we have some kiddos that love their sandals and their flip-flops, but they can't wear them here. So, they need to make sure when they come to program, they have closed-toed shoes. It's for everybody's safety. Make sure that it has a back on it as well, because some kiddos will come in those, what do you call them? Crocs, yes. So it is closed-toed, but it doesn't really have a protective back on it. So make sure that the shoes that they wear are not sandals or flip-flops so that we all stay safe. Okay, and then the last thing for the people watching. Okay, so what you're going to do, I just gave you 5 words, and then there's a blank. You got to fill in the blank. All right, if you go back and you listen to the 5 words in the sentence, you'll know what you got to do to fill in the blank, okay? All right, so that's that. All right, so for my elementary folks, okay, we are going to walk out here. I'm going to make sure you get a calendar, make sure you get a contract, and then you guys can pay your fees, and then you can go home. And then, unless you have a middle or high schooler, in that case, you do need to stay. All right, we're going to scooch on out here, and we're going to close these doors to make sure y'all don't hear anything.
I think I'm just going to go with that table.
Hmm?
Join us on the table.
Had fun.
Oh. Do I need to?
Go to Boston.
I don't need. Can I just go ahead and do it?